Have you recently thought of breaking into B2B selling? Are you an engineer, data analyst, project manager, product manager, or anyone thinking about moving into B2B sales? If you are, this is for you. And I'm going to share 3 essential mindset skills that you need to really crush it and join this sector and make that 6-figure income that I've seen many people do, but I've seen even more people struggle. So the first thing to share with you, selling is not about convincing. It is not about doing that pitch. It's all about understanding. Let it sink in. It's about understanding. Selling is not about convincing people. If you look at some of the best salespeople out there, the best people that are very good at B2B selling, they're very good at finding win-win situations for both parties. How do you do win-win situations? You have to understand what the other party needs and what you can provide so that it's a win-win. And most people coming from a technical background will likely think sales means pitching, being very confident, sometimes talking over people, sounding very sophisticated, storytelling, persuading, showing how smart you are. Maybe at the entry level, yes, but honestly, at the top, it's actually quite the opposite. Now, the best salespeople I've ever worked with, they listen way more than they talk. They ask very good questions, very pointed, very poignant questions. They understand the customer's world. Where is this person coming from? They understand the customer's world before they ever even open their deck. So here's what it looks like in practice. Say you sell a cloud data platform, something like a Databricks, anything, right? Okay, a bad first call would sound like, a bad discovery call would sound like you opening with, let me walk you through our architecture and show you our benchmarks. Let me show you what we do and you see if there's anything that would be helpful for you. Me. Don't do that, okay? What does a great first call sound like? It sounds like, help me understand, what does your data pipeline look like today? Where are things breaking down? What are some of the common challenges and problems your team and yourself are facing? What are those problems costing your team? See the difference? One is talking at the buyer, while the other is thinking with the buyer. Okay, that shift alone will already put you miles ahead of most reps. Okay, and these things may not be instantaneous. Over the months, you'll start to see the best and the mediocre, they start to separate themselves quite quickly. Okay, that's the first tip here. The second tip is, please fall in love with the problem that you're actually solving, not the product. Now, one of the common things that salespeople do is they want to quickly learn all about the product. Yes, that is good, but learn all about the product in terms of what problems do they actually solve. Why do customers work with us? Why us? Fall in love with the problem you are trying to solve, not the product. This is where actually your technical background, if you're an engineer, data analyst, from a technical background, actually becomes a superpower if you use it correctly. Because if you're coming from a technical, engineering, analytical background, you already know how to dig into problems, how to break complex problems into simple, actionable steps you can work on. You already know how things connect. Root cause analysis, that is gold in selling because you're able to very quickly prove the value of your product, the value, the metrics of the value that you actually provide in the service. But here is also the trap. A lot of people switching into sales immediately get obsessed in learning the product, which is important. They memorize every feature, every integration, every specification. That is, they end up leading with it. The problem? Your buyer doesn't care about the features. They care about what they want to care about. They care about the problems that they need to fix. Oftentimes, even if they have purchased your products, they don't even know much about everything that they bought. But they will know the things that they bought, the specific area that can help them solve the problem. Because at the end of the day, they care about their problems. That's why they came to you. And an example here is, let's say if you, instead, what you might lead with is, I understand that your engineering team is shipping code once every 2 weeks instead of multiple times a day. I understand that your deployment failures are causing problems. The failures that your team is facing using my competitors' products is causing your team time away from your family, time away from things that they are actually paid to do. Those are the problems that you actually help them solve. Lead with that. When you deeply understand the problem you're trying to solve, the problem your product exists to begin with to solve, your service and your product becomes a natural answer. You don't have to push it. Idea number 3, okay, you must learn the business language of your buyer. You must learn to attempt to speak the business language of your buyer. This one catches a lot of technical people off guard. In B2B sales, your buyer is often a VP of engineering, someone that is a head of department. They don't make decisions based on tech specifications alone. They make decisions based on business outcomes because they are business unit owners. They own business unit outcomes. So you have to talk to them at that level. You need to translate. So instead of saying our platform reduces latency by 40%, you might say your analytics team will get answers in seconds instead of minutes, faster decisions and fewer missed opportunities. Instead of saying we integrate all 50 AI tools and more in your current stack of solutions, you might instead say your team won't have to rebuild existing workflows or retrain anyone, which costs a lot of time. What we provide plugs into what you already use, so it's a seamless integration. Music to a decision maker's ears. Revenue, cost, time and risk. Remember, you're dealing with head of departments. They run teams and departments. They care about team, department, business outcomes. This is a learnable skill. You don't need an MBA. You just need to keep asking yourself, I sell this thing. So what? Why would a busy executive care about this feature? When you can answer that, you are selling. You're making business outcomes. Okay, so let's recap. If you're moving into B2B sales from a non-sales background, here are your 3 foundations. 1, selling is understanding, not convincing. You don't have to be some mega Toastmasters storyteller. You instead have to be curious, ask more than you tell. Number 2, fall in love with the problem that your product exists to solve, not the product itself. Your technical brain is already built for it. Make use of it. Number 3, learn to translate technology into business outcomes. Speak your language. Now, if you get these 3 things right, you will only survive in sales. If this was useful, drop me a comment and let me know which of these 3 do you think will be hardest for you. I'll see you in the next video.